Some very exciting news for you guys. Today we have a guest tip. Now, if you've not heard of Sarah Brazier, I can only assume that you've been living under a rock or you've never been on LinkedIn. Sarah is an AE for the powerhouse that is Gong, the conversational intelligence tool that's taking the market by storm. Now, the reason Sarah's giving us a tip today is down to her success. She absolutely smashed through her target as an SDR and is now an account exec. On top of this, Sarah's managed to build a loyal following and an active audience through LinkedIn. This is due to the incredible content that she posts on a daily and weekly basis. So we were fortunate enough to sit down with Sarah, what looked like in her back garden, where she gives us some tips around objection handling and how to turn those objections into a really useful way of doing a further discovery. Let's jump straight in.
Hey, Sarah Brazier here with a quick sales tip. So I actually got this from one of my mentors, Charlie Locke, who I work over with at SDR Nation. But I was talking to him about how sometimes in the differentiation process, when I'm selling, there are specific reasons why people are buying some kind of use case. Sometimes they line up a lot with a competitor. So like our competitive differentiations in terms of technology really doesn't matter to the prospect. It's like not a big deal for them because their use case is like whatever. And so then the argument becomes price. But there are so many other things about your software that can differentiate you. Specifically, like customer success or your onboarding process or your training or your implementation, yada yada. And I hadn't really thought about that before. I knew the talk track, the competitive talk track around, here's how great our customer success team is, la la la. But instead of me bragging about it, when asked about, how do we differentiate ourselves competitively, Charlie suggested using it instead as a piece of discovery so that you can get all of the objections or hidden concerns out ahead of time and use that to help as you're strategically setting yourself up for success throughout the rest of the deal. And the way that he does that, the way that he was teaching me in one of our mentor sessions, was simply to ask a couple questions. The first being, have you ever bought software in the past? Not everyone has made a software purchase, and you actually have to teach people how to buy and make suggestions. So ask the question, have you ever bought software in the past? If the answer is yes, then you follow up with, okay, cool. Have you ever had a failed software project? And then they can say, probably yes. Probably someone's bought software before and the deployment didn't go as planned. Well, why? What were the challenges? Was it because, you couldn't get a hold of your customer success manager? It was, challenging implementation and onboarding, blah, blah, blah. And you can just get all of those things out on the table so that you can figure out, throughout your sales process, where their concerns are and prove to them that actually, we've got your back. We're on your side. I know this is a challenge. And use it to differentiate yourself competitively throughout the selling process. If someone hasn't bought software in the past, that's where you have to teach them. Have you ever bought software in the past? No, I haven't. Okay, well, do you have a process for buying software at your company? Actually, yes, we do. Oh, can you share that with me? Typically, there's other people who, obviously, you people know this, you're in sales, but typically, there's other people that need to be involved in the purchase, even if it's just the CFO who holds the purse strings and has to sign off that a business case must be built. And the thing that I'm learning more and more as a relatively new AE is how to effectively multi-thread, pull in the correct stakeholders, and showcase the value in the business value so that a purchase is easy. If you position your product correctly, there should be so much ROI that signing a check is not a big deal. But if you don't do that, then you're not getting in front of the risk and you're not getting the hidden objections out of the way. And likelihood that you'll close a deal obviously goes down a lot. So trying to understand internal processes for buying. If the person doesn't know the internal process for buying because they're relatively new at the company and they haven't bought software before, that's where you make some suggestions about your other clients that you've worked with. So for me, that sounds like, okay, well, could I make a suggestion? Great. I've run a lot of evaluations like this, and typically here are the people that we have to get involved in order to get buy-in and run a really great proof of concept, or really prove out the value of our solution before we can move forward. What do you think the best way is to get time with them on the calendar? And then you can objection handle from there. Sometimes you have to, be really assertive about the fact that you need to have time with certain stakeholders, because at the end of the day, the person who's evaluating, they want this, they're your champion. And so you guys need to sit down on the same side of the table and sell together. So that's my selling tip, specifically for software sales. If you have any questions, hit me up. And I hope that this one is helpful. Have a great day, guys.
Well, that one had a bit of everything in it, from dealing with objections, using the objections as a way of delving deeper and getting further into that discovery, all the way through to helping build a business case with your champion and getting more stakeholder engagement. Really, really useful tip from Sarah. We're very lucky to have her on, take some time out of her busy day being a gongster to give us that wonderful tip. You can follow Sarah on LinkedIn. She is one of LinkedIn's top voices. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share. And as always, guys, happy selling.